Welcome back to 5 Talking Points, the series where I pick out 5 things from the previous Grand Prix weekend and talk about them. We enter the second half of the Iberian Double this weekend as F1 headed to the Circuit de Barcelona-Catalunya in Spain, a very happy hunting ground for Lewis Hamilton in the past. So let's talk about it. Lewis Hamilton came into this weekend chasing his 100th pole position in Formula 1 and also his 5th win in a row at Barcelona. When Q3 came around, it looked like Max Verstappen and Red Bull had the edge after he posted a time 2/10 quicker than Hamilton in Q2. But in Q3, Hamilton drew first blood, topping the timesheets after the first flying laps. Unfortunately for Verstappen, the track didn't evolve for the second laps and only a couple of drivers improved on their times, meaning Hamilton took his 100th pole position, the first driver to do so. Now that I've talked about how Hamilton got his 100th pole position, let's see how he got his 98th win and his 5th win in a row in Spain. Starting on pole with Verstappen in second, the two were neck and neck in the run down to turn 1, but it was Verstappen who took the position, forcing Hamilton to take evasive action and almost turn out of the corner. Verstappen managed the 1 second gap until the first pit stops, where Verstappen blinked first. After Hamilton pitted 4 laps later, the gap was up to 5 seconds, but Hamilton had fresher tyres and soon enough he was within 1 second again. But this circuit is notorious for being hard to overtake on, and Hamilton got stuck behind the Red Bull. But to everyone's surprise, Hamilton then stopped for a second time for another set of medium tyres, putting him 22 seconds behind with 22 laps to go and losing to a position to Valtteri Bottas as well. Suddenly, everyone watching and everyone involved started to get massive Hungary 2019 vibes, and they had every right to feel that way, as eventually on lap 62, Hamilton had caught and passed Verstappen and held on to win the race. Verstappen boxed after being passed and ended up taking the fastest lap. Someone's performance which went almost unnoticed was Charles Leclerc. The Ferrari driver started and finished in P4, underlining the massive gains that Ferrari have made in performance this year compared to last year. At the start, Leclerc swept around the outside of the Mercedes of Valtteri Bottas to take P3 and managed to keep him behind until the first pit stops, where he was undercut by Bottas and dropped behind him. After that, Leclerc remained in his own world in 4th, with a sizable gap ahead, but managing a sizable gap to the cars behind as well. Leclerc remains in 5th in the championship with 40 points. This weekend marked the last Spanish Grand Prix with the current cars and regulations. As we know with these cars, it is really hard to follow close behind another car due to the substantial amounts of dirty air these cars produce. But from next year, that amount will be significantly reduced because of the new regulations, meaning that hopefully, fingers crossed, tracks like the Circuit de Barcelona-Catalunya will produce better racing rather than teams just solely relying on strategy to gain positions. In previous years, it was Mercedes, Ferrari and Red Bull. It then became Mercedes, Ferrari, mostly Leclerc, and Verstappen. Then Hamilton, Bottas and Verstappen. This year, it looks like just Hamilton and Verstappen who are above everyone else. They've finished in the top 2 in all 4 races so far this season, with Valtteri Bottas joining them on the podium for 3 of the races and Lando Norris the other. Although the winning margin has been over 15 seconds in 3 of those 4, that doesn't tell the whole story, as in all the races, these two have pulled away from the rest without fail. But that is it for this episode of 5 Talking Points. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to smash that like button down below. Subscribe if you like what you see and you want to see more. And hit that little bell button next to the subscribe button and you'll get a notification whenever I upload. Something else I also haven't mentioned in these videos is that I also write these as blogs on my WordPress page. So if you want to read this, check the top link in the description down below and it will take you to my WordPress page and the post on there. Until next time, thanks so much for watching.